What is up, boys? My name is Beret, and as the majority of you know, Valorant now has a replay system. Now, I am quite disappointed with how the replay system came out, especially for me as a coach, because I can't view other people's replays. However, because I can't view your replays and coach you off of them, I'm going to teach y'all how to coach yourself using the replays. And it comes with one simple concept: pattern recognition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a replay of a game that I played a couple days ago on one of my alt accounts. No clue what rank it is. I legitimately just hopped onto an account and I just played a game. But I'm going to be going over sort of my thought process this game and how you can look at it. Now, spoiler alert, you're not actually going to be looking at the gameplay itself, really. You're looking at the mini-map, and it's all about pattern recognition. And mainly, it's about making sure that you are recognizing how you play affects the enemy team, because you can see it now. Again, looks like they're going B. At the start of this game, my idea going into the match was I wanted to condition them into feeling like they have to fight for mid. So, for those of you who don't know, Corrode is a pretty defender-sided mid map, and it looks like the chamber is going to kill out, and he does kill my Reyna. So I throw a smoke, and my goal isn't to insta-trade the Reyna, the goal is to push up and take mid space. My entire idea this match is to make the enemy team feel like they have to push mid to win. This is a mistake, by the way. Oftentimes, when the attackers push mid, they just lose. And them pushing mid doesn't actually give them as many benefits. It's better for the attackers to have one person solo lurking mid rather than 3 people pushing it. I'm trying to snuff that immediately, while also getting really good flanks off on them, because I know for a fact that I can pretty easily bypass Chamber's trip. That's also why I keep an extra smoke in my inventory, so I can bypass Chamber's trip. Flank is really, really scary against their team comp at this point. So what I'm thinking of doing at this point is conditioning them to feel like they have to fight for mid, so that their pressure on A main and B main are a lot weaker by proxy. So for the first couple rounds, quite literally what I'm doing is, if I skip to the start of next round as well, I'm just simply walking up mid. I'm simply walking up mid from top mid, trying to snuff out all of, I'm trying to snuff out every possible mid aggression. That's my goal. That's what I'm trying to do. Again, I smoke bottom mid and I walk up mid, either solo or with my teammates, and my goal is to just go for flanks. This is the type of things you need to do when looking at your own replays. First off, you need to have a game plan going into the game. My goal this game is to condition them and to feel like they have to fight mid, so that I can then weaken their pressure on the extremities. And if they get mid, whoop-de-doo, top mid's the actual important part of mid. They can have mid all they want. If they come elbow, it doesn't do much. If they have mid, it doesn't do much. Now, with the replay, is what you do is you actually go look at the minimap and see if your plan worked. And if not, how can you reinforce it more? I have not looked at this replay yet. I don't know how my conditioning is actually affecting the enemy team at this point. But again, I'm conditioning them for about 2 to 3 rounds at this point, right? Again, if I go to the start of this round, I'm also just going to be walking up mid. I guarantee you, I just start by walking up mid. Actually, no. This round, I do push out B. Reason being is because it is anti-eco, and I'm going to go for a strat. So, I don't push out mid this round, but that's just because of anti-eco. I throw a smoke, right? I go for some kind of pre-fire here. Not sure what I'm doing. I throw this smoke, and then here, this is a little bit of omen tech. I go for a play, right? The dog misses me. They know I'm right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blind, and I'm going to teleport like this, and I'm going to try and get as many as I can. Now, obviously, my carpal tunnel kind of screwed me here, and I also forgot to reload my gun. And I whiff like absolute booty cheeks on this omen, but y'all get the play. I had the read that they were going B, and I was just going to go for a play. But if we go to the very start of next round, something you'll immediately notice is, where am I? I'm conditioning them to think they have to fight mid again. So again, I'm riding through here, I'm going top mid, and the second that the round starts, the very, 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 very second that the round starts, I am just going to instantly smoke bottom mid and walk out to, again, the goal of this is to make them feel like they have to fight mid, which is a mistake, which they don't. They don't have to fight mid. So again, I go here, I push the smoke, I don't see anything, I don't hear anything. So what I do is I, again, still shift walk, I smoke for my team like this. They're already out, my smoke was a bit late, that's a mistake on my part. Always make sure to clear. Chamber walked up here. I don't know that Chamber walked up here, but I always just check and clear this regardless. So I do check and clear that. Always make sure to check and clear for everything, because sometimes you can just miss timings and lurks. But again, I'm going to flank. I'm going to get as many kills as I can. And I'm going to try and make them as scared as I can of flank. I'm trying to reinforce the idea here that they need to fight mid in order to win, because their lurk isn't working. So I'm constantly snuffing their chambers lurks, and I'm trying to make them fight mid. And the second that I do think they're going to fight mid is when I start enacting the second part of my plan, which you'll probably see. But again, I will keep snuffing mid until I get the feeling that they're going to start fighting mid. So again, I throw this, right? Here, I didn't really get a chance to snuff mid that much because they did rush B and I did need to play there with my team. But I did still smoke bot mid to condition the fact that I could walk up mid. At this point, I've kind of Pavloved my opponent into thinking Omen smokes and then he pushes mid. Omen smokes and then he pushes mid. Now I can smoke and play somewhere completely different, but this chamber's horrified to push. Look, this chamber respects the smoke up until he actually physically sees me with the jet dash over here. The only reason why this chamber went for this lurk is because he physically saw me on the minimap, because I had Pavlov conditioned him. This is conditioning 101. And the only way I could have really known if that conditioning worked is because I saw the replay. This is how you need to be doing your replays. Again. So again, here, I kind of just play just like a standard B retake. Nothing too crazy. I do actually sort of double back here, but again, that's not important. Again, the idea is conditioning them to make them think that they have to fight mid in order to win. They have to fight mid in order to win. Again, and I'm just going to go right back to it again. I'm just going to go right back to it. I'm going to make them think if they don't fight mid, they lose. Now look at this. There's quite a few people heading towards mid right now. We have Jet and Omen going mid. Now at this point, the second that I see multiple people go mid, so first I jump spot this. The reason why I jump spot instead of dry swinging is because I know that I'm swinging late and my waylay hasn't really cleared this half of the sight line yet by the time I jump spot. So I jump spot here to see if anyone's out. I don't see anyone, so I immediately go and swing. Now I see a smoke top mid. This is something that they have not done before this point. They have not smoked top mid until this point. This is the trigger to know my conditioning has worked. So what I do is I actually push out of the smoke and I kill their jet as they dry swing out. Because the jet thinks they're safe because top mid is smoked, and I'm using that. But the second that the smoke comes out, I now know my conditioning has officially worked and they're fighting for mid. And look, before it was just the chamber walking at mid. Now it's an Omen and a jet going mid. And of course, I'm going to still try and hold this mid space. I'm sort of playing here, right? I saw that the Omen took the gun because I saw the gun go away. So I now know that there is someone else there. And this just further reinforces the fact that, hey, my conditioning has worked. So at this point, I'm kind of just, playing normal. I do whiff here because my wrists are messed up. But let's just say if I was 10s, I would have gotten that kill. If I was 10s, I get that kill. But again, now at the very start of this round, my conditioning is kind of paying off. I'm further conditioning the fact that they have to push mid if they want to win. They have to. They just have to push mid if they want to win. And since they've been losing a bunch of rounds as well, that's where that goes. Now, here's where my conditioning pays off. I've spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds conditioning them to make them think that they have to fight mid to win. Why am I doing that? So that I can flank through B and kill them mid. Because if I think that they're going to group up mid and I think that they're going to fight mid, what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to immediately smoke right here. If they go B, I'm in an advantageous position. But the second I realize that there's nobody here and that they're actually idiots and fighting for mid here, like I've been conditioning them to do the entirety of the game, I get 1, 2, 3, 4 freaking backs turned to me. That's the power of conditioning. And the only way that you can learn conditioning is by learning pattern recognition. And I believe that the best possible way to learn pattern recognition is by using Valorant's replay system. If you can learn this skill alone, you will be frying in your ranked games because you can essentially make your opponents play exactly how you want them to. This is the best use case scenario for the replay system, in my opinion. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Buy my coaching. Medify is a great coaching platform, and they wanted me on there. So My prices are affordable. I actually have a new thing on Metafire now. It's called concept coaching. Let's say you don't want me to do a VOD review and you want to just say, hey, Berate, how do I play Raze? Tell me how to play Raze. Tell me everything you know about playing Raze. That's what that's for. You get me for like 2 hours and I sit down and I answer your questions, your Premier Team's questions. You want me to analyze a VCT game for you so that you can understand how to, optimally play Ascent? I got you. Berate, I suck at defense on Corrode. What do I do? Then I would go over in-depth playing defense on Corrode. Just, that's there, throwing that out. Not trying to plug my own stuff, not trying to toot my own horn. But anyways, with all that being said, this has been Berate, and remember to brush your teeth today, because I know for a fact I haven't. Bye-bye.